Hi, I'm Eric Galanti. I am the instructor of this course, Learning Mindfulness Using Anchoring. I am a college professor of health and wellness, and along with my good friend and colleague, Professor Gordon Edlin, we've written a college textbook called Health and Wellness, which is used by thousands of students, college students all over North America. I was introduced to mindfulness over 20 years ago by a professor colleague. I took a class. In those days, there was no internet, so the class was live with a teacher, and we met weekly for a few weeks. Maybe 100 students taking this class. And it was in that way that I learned the method, and I found it to be extremely beneficial in my personal life. And so after a few years, I started teaching it to my students. And then after the internet was invented in the mid-90s, and a few years after that, I started teaching online. My dean had me teach online, and so I started teaching online, and I thought the practice was so beneficial that I found a way to teach it to students in an online way. What I've done for you and for this class is I've developed this online version, and it's very similar to the workshop structure that I had in the live way, and so it seems to work. It's worked for hundreds and hundreds of students over the years, so it does seem to work in an online way. So that's what we've got here. Now, mindfulness itself is a very old practice, but in the last 10 to 15 years, it's had a modern renaissance in the health and medicine and psychology, where it's been found to be very helpful to people, particularly to manage stress or to help with pain of illness or to enhance their mental health. It's also used to help people focus their awareness and their attention so they're better at task performance. Okay, so that is how I used it in my class. I thought students would enjoy learning something that would help them with stress in school, and this method did. It helped them sleep. It also helped them focus on their academic tasks and do better in school. And so that's how it's worked for them. And I'm going to predict that, at least for most of you, it'll have at least some of those benefits for you as well. When I was first teaching anchoring, I had a colleague take my class, and he was a biologist, and he was very much into ecology and being green, and so he took this class, and after a while, he realized that when he was learning the practice and doing the practice, that he felt very grounded to the earth, very connected to the earth. But he was a very busy guy, and his mind was all scattered in all kinds of directions, like most of us, because there's so much in the environment vying for our attention. And he found that when he did this practice, he could center into himself, he could feel grounded to the earth, and he felt anchored instead of flying around. And he told me this story, and he suggested that I use that word to describe the process by which we are learning anchoring, and I thought that was a good idea. And so that's why the class is called Learning Mindfulness Through Anchoring. Anchoring is the educational process that we use in this class to learn this practice. Okay, so here's how the class is structured, just like the workshop I told you about. In the first night that I went to class, and in the first section of this course, you will learn the method. There's a tutorial online that you can read. There's an MP3 that you can either listen online or download. There's a PDF of the text of this that you can download and print and have at your disposal. So there's lots of different ways for you to learn the method. Once you learn the method, like riding a bike, you may learn to ride a bike and you might be a little wobbly on it and not quite sure what you're doing, but the more you practice, the better you get. And so we have 6 practice sessions that are guided by me to help you get more facile with mindfulness. The way the practice sessions work is you do one, and then the following day you do one that's guided by me, then the following day you do it again, then the third day you do the next one, and it's a sequence. So by the time you're done with the practice sessions, excuse me, then you've been in the class for a little over 2 weeks. Now, at that point, I consider you to be ready to be launched. It's time for you to do it on your own. So I invite you at that time to do anchoring almost every day, if not every day, and do it for at least 10 minutes. 20 is better, and you'll discover that as you move along in the class and as you practice this. Now, one of the things that I had in my workshop situation was the opportunity to check in with the instructor and other classmates periodically, once a week if I really wanted to. So I have a check-in system. It's not quite the same. We don't do it in a social media way where we're all chatting and that sort of thing. But there are check-ins that you can do. There's a list of them, and you can check in with those. And the purpose of those is for you to hear more about the method, and I narrate those kind of things, and you can listen to them. They're all MP3s, and you can listen to them as you want to in order to stay connected to the method, in order to stay connected to the class. And you might even imagine that there might be 10 or 15 or 20 people on any given day who've taken this class who are listening to the very same check-in that you are. But you'll be able to see that the check-in is a way to stay connected. Okay, so that's how the class is structured. So the better thing than me talking is for you to get started. So when you're ready, click on the tutorial, use the link on the website, click on the tutorial and get started in the class. Hope you enjoy the class, and thank you so much for coming.